An unemployed man named John comes to Los Angeles hoping to find a job and a better life. He wanders around the city and hears a street preacher say that the planet is ruled by some aliens, but humanity does not know about it. Suddenly, John sees the police approaching and quickly leaves. He spends the night on the street and in the morning finds a job at a construction site and meets Frank there. He tells John about a free city soup kitchen run by Gilbert. There is also a camp for the homeless and John will have a place to stay. Walking around the camp at night, John finds two men watching TV. Suddenly, some hacker takes over the TV station and manages to tell viewers the same thing that the street preacher said. Humanoids have seized power, blended into the crowd, and hypnotize ordinary people. The hacker adds that the only way to stop it is to turn off the source of the signal. Later, John sees a street preacher right here in the homeless camp. The preacher talks to Gilbert for a while and they go to church. Joe quietly sneaks into the church after them. Inside, John finds that the church choir is pre-recorded and played through speakers, but the church building itself is being used for some other business. John moves part of the wall and sees a group of people. Among them, he recognizes the hacker who hacked the TV channel. Suddenly, John is grabbed by the preacher, who is blind. John breaks free and runs away. Later, John notices that a police helicopter is constantly flying over their camp. Realizing that this is all very suspicious, John offers Frank to figure out what is going on, but Frank believes that there is no need to interfere in matters that do not concern him personally. At night, the police surround the camp. Bulldozers destroy fences and buildings, and the police seize and arrest all the locals. John, trying to escape, sees several police officers beating a blind preacher to death with batons. Seeing an open window, John climbs in and manages to hide from the police in an abandoned apartment. In the morning, John sees that the camp has been completely razed to the ground. Only the church building has survived. Inside, from a secret compartment, he takes out a box filled with sunglasses, exactly the same ones that the church ministers wore. John takes out one pair of glasses and hides the box with the rest in a trash can. To his surprise, the sunglasses show a black and white picture of the real world. John looks at billboards through his glasses and sees simple black and white words instead of the usual bright pictures. The words say obey, consume, marry and reproduce, no independent thoughts, watch TV, sleep, and on the money it says this is your God. Suddenly, near a newsstand, John sees a man with a skull instead of a face. John takes off his glasses and in front of him is an ordinary man. At this moment, John understands that part of the planet's population is not people, but probably aliens, and advertising and the cult of consumption are one of the tools to turn people into slaves. But the sunglasses he found help remove the disguise from both the aliens and the result of their deception. John wanders around the city and notices many humanoid creatures. Their common feature is that they all wear expensive clothes and drive very nice cars. Later, John goes into a grocery store filled with aliens. John gets angry and tells the alien, who is pretending to be an old woman, that she looks very ugly. The alien suddenly brings her wristwatch to her lips and says out loud that in front of her is a person who can see. All the other aliens simultaneously turn their heads towards John. He quickly runs out into the street, where two alien police officers immediately try to arrest him. John is almost certain that the aliens are just going to take him to a deserted place and kill him, so he punches the nearest policeman, grabs his gun and shoots both aliens in turn. John takes all the weapons from the police car, hangs them on his body and freely goes for a walk. Suddenly, he accidentally sees a bank full of aliens, so he starts shooting at all of them in turn. One of the humanoids ends up cornered, but a second before the shot, he suddenly turns the dial of his watch and disappears. John hears police sirens and quickly leaves the bank through the back door. In the alley, he meets a policeman, but John sees through his glasses that he is a human. Then John takes the gun from the policeman and lets him go. To escape from the encirclement, John kidnaps a girl named Holly and demands that she take him to her home. There, John takes off his glasses to rest a little from the acute moral fatigue they cause. He apologizes to Holly for the inconvenience caused and tries to explain to her that the planet is ruled by aliens. When John finds out that Holly works on television, he wants her to put on his glasses and make sure that he is telling the truth. However, Holly, with her meek behavior, deliberately lulls John's vigilance and, choosing the moment, hits him on the head with a bottle and pushes him out the window. John lands safely and simply rolls down the slope, receiving only a few bruises. However, his glasses are left with Holly. He does not have time to go back for them because he hears police sirens. In the morning, John returns to the trash can where he hid the box with the glasses. But the can is empty. He looks around and notices that the garbage truck hasn't left yet. After rummaging around in the back bay, John finds a box of glasses. After that, he goes to talk to his only friend in this city, Frank. John tries to explain to his friend about aliens and glasses that allow him to see the truth. Frank doesn't want to hear about it because he's sure that John has gone crazy. Frank also refuses to put on the glasses and get proof, because he's sure that if he doesn't interfere in other people's business, then no one will touch him. Then John decides to put the glasses on his friend by force. After a long fight, John defeats Frank with great difficulty and then puts the glasses on him. Frank immediately sees two humanoids and realizes that John wasn't lying to him. Together, they rent a room to hide from the police and get some rest. Frank says that if the glasses were found in the church and the TV channel was hacked there, then there is a cell of resistance to aliens located there. Most likely, it is led by Gilbert, the man who ran the church and the homeless camp around it. Frank meets with Gilbert, who invites the guys to a meeting of the resistance members. At night, John and Frank come to the designated place in sunglasses. There, the girl gives them contact lenses that have the same functions as glasses, but do not attract attention if you wear them at night. At the underground meeting, the resistance leaders say that aliens are depleting the planet's resources and also increasing carbon dioxide and methane emissions into the atmosphere to make it more suitable for themselves. The main form of control over people is a television broadcast that emits hypnotic waves through an antenna, preventing people from seeing obvious things. However, recently, one scientist in the ranks of the resistance came up with a special lens that ignores the hypnotic effect and shows everything around as it is. The lens was first built into glasses and then converted into contact lenses for stealth. Gilbert gives the guys weapon as well as a wristwatch of one of the humanoids and promises to tell his plan to attack the enemy a little later. Among the resistance members, John meets Holly. She says that she put on the glasses that he left with her and realized that John was right. Suddenly, the police attack the rebels. A large number of aliens storm the building and kill everyone indiscriminately. One of the first to die is Gilbert, the leader of the rebels. John and Frank manage to run out into the alley, but there they are cornered by humanoids. Frank accidentally drops the alien watch that Gilbert gave them, and suddenly a portal opens under his feet. John decides that the unknown is better than death, and they both jump into this portal, after which it closes. The guys find themselves in a long corridor. They go further and see a gala dinner of honorary humanoids in honor of the successful expansion of the planet. There are also people sitting at the tables with them who have consciously decided to serve the aliens in exchange for high positions and big money. One of these people sees John and Frank and takes them for the same invited traitors as he is. The man gives his new acquaintances a tour of the humanoid's bunker. A few floors above is a television studio. John remembers Gilbert talking about an antenna that broadcasts hypnotic waves. He takes out a weapon and, together with Frank, breaks through to the roof floor by floor. On one of the upper floors, John meets Holly, takes her hand and leads her. John goes out onto the roof. At this moment, Holly, on the top floor, puts a gun to Frank's temple and pulls the trigger. John, on the roof, looks at the antenna and, using the lenses, sees a vulnerable spot in it. He turns around and notices that Holly is holding him at gunpoint. A helicopter also hovers above him and demands that John surrender. Then he quickly shoots Holly and then the antenna. A moment later, humanoids in a helicopter kill John. Meanwhile, the hypnotic signal is interrupted all over the world, and people suddenly begin to see the real faces of humanoids.